Have you ever woken up in the dead of night, glancing at the clock, only to see that it's 3 a.m. and you're wide awake? It's a frustrating moment, isn't it? The silence of the night, the stillness around you, and yet your mind seems to be fully alert. If you've experienced this, you're definitely not alone. Many older adults find themselves waking up at this hour, unable to fall back asleep. But what if I told you that this isn't just some random inconvenience? It's more common than you think, and there's actually a deeper reason for it. If this resonates with you, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights on understanding your body and improving your sleep. You don't want to miss out on tips that can help you sleep better and feel more rested. So go ahead and join the community. You might start wondering, what's happening to my body? Why am I waking up like this? The truth is, this early morning wakefulness isn't just a part of getting older, nor is it something your body is simply doing wrong. In fact, it's often the result of a combination of biological, psychological, and lifestyle factors that start to shift as we age. And understanding these reasons might just change the way you think about your sleep. Over the next few minutes, we're going to dive into 5 powerful reasons why you might be waking up at 3 a.m. and what it could be telling you about your health. These aren't just surface-level explanations or vague guesses. These reasons are rooted in real science, the rhythms of aging, and the intricate ways your body and mind adapt over time. You'll discover how hormonal changes, shifts in your internal clock, and even emotional factors might be influencing your sleep more than you realize. By the end, you might just come to see your nighttime wake-ups in a whole new light. Instead of feeling frustrated or confused, you'll have the knowledge to take steps toward better sleep, and a better understanding of what your body is truly going through. So, if you've ever asked yourself, why am I waking up so early? Stick with me. Let's unpack this together and find out what's really going on. One of the most common reasons older adults wake up at 3 a.m. has to do with a hormone called melatonin. You've probably heard of it before. It's often called the sleep hormone because it plays a key role in helping us fall asleep and stay asleep. When we're younger, melatonin is produced in steady, strong amounts throughout the night, keeping us in a restful, deep sleep for hours on end. But as we age, our bodies naturally produce less melatonin, and that shift can have a big impact on our ability to stay asleep through the night. Think about it this way. When you were younger, you could probably sleep through anything. No matter what time you went to bed, your body seemed to have the stamina to stay asleep for a long stretch. But now, as you reach the early morning hours, around 2 o'clock or 3 a.m., your body's natural supply of melatonin dips too low, and that's when the wake-up calls happen. It's not because of any noise or discomfort. Your body is simply shifting from a deep sleep to a lighter one, leaving you wide awake and wondering why you can't fall back asleep. It's not that something's wrong with your body. This is just the natural aging process. And understanding this can actually be quite empowering. The good news is you're not alone in this. Many people experience it as they get older, and it's all tied to this drop in melatonin production. But there's another important factor that makes this even more challenging: your environment. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to external factors like light. It could be something as simple as a street light outside your window or the glow of your clock on the nightstand. These small sources of light can suppress melatonin even further, making it even harder to stay asleep once you've woken up. Take Harold, for example. At 72, Harold had always considered himself a good sleeper. But lately, he found himself wide awake around 3:15 a.m. most nights. He didn't feel anxious or upset, he was just alert. He used to think it was a sign of insomnia, but once he learned about melatonin and its decline with age, he realized this wasn't a problem with his sleep. It was just his body's natural rhythm. So what did Harold do? He made a few simple adjustments. He started keeping his bedroom darker, no more blinking clocks or streetlights, and took a brief walk in the evening to reinforce his natural sleep cycle. These small changes helped him shift his sleep in a way that worked with his body instead of fighting against it. If you find yourself waking up at 3 a.m. and wondering why, just remember, it's not a sign that something is wrong. Your body is going through changes, and by understanding them, you can work with your body to improve your sleep. The key is awareness and making small, intentional changes to support your natural rhythms. As we get older, our bodies often go through a natural change known as advanced sleep phase. It sounds technical, but it's actually something many older adults experience. Essentially, our internal clocks begin to shift forward. What does this mean? Well, instead of feeling tired around the usual bedtime of 10 o'clock or 11 p.m., older adults may find themselves getting sleepy much earlier, sometimes as early as 8 p.m. And when morning rolls around, they're wide awake long before the sun comes up, usually around 3 a.m. At first, this might seem strange. You might think, why am I so tired by 9 p.m.? Why am I waking up so early even if I want to sleep longer? The truth is, it's not that your body is broken. It's just that your circadian rhythms are adjusting. These rhythms, which regulate your sleep-wake cycle, naturally shift with age. What used to be a rhythm that kept you up later at night is now resetting, causing you to feel sleepy earlier and wake up earlier. This change is totally normal and rooted in biology. It's like your internal clock is getting a little ahead of the actual time. But here's the catch. This shift can sometimes be frustrating, especially if your daily routine doesn't match your new sleep cycle. For instance, if you're no longer working full-time or you're not engaging in the same level of daily activity, your body may start to feel more in sync with nature's quiet hours, causing you to wind down earlier and wake up earlier. Let's look at Charles, who's 68 and recently retired. Charles used to stay up late, enjoying time with his family or watching TV. But now he finds himself ready to go to sleep by 9 p.m., and when 3 a.m. rolls around, he's wide awake. At first, he thought it was insomnia. But once he learned about advanced sleep phase, he realized his sleep cycle wasn't broken. It had simply shifted. So what did Charles do? He began adjusting his evening routine. He started reading a book with warm lighting, taking a short walk after dinner, and even calling his daughter for a quick chat before bed. These small yet meaningful changes helped him extend his sleep window and shift his wake-up time a little later in the morning, bringing more balance to his new routine. It's important to recognize that while this sleep shift may be frustrating at times, it's not harmful. In fact, understanding that your body is simply on a different schedule can help you take steps to align your routine with your body's new rhythm. Instead of fighting against it, work with it. If you're waking up at 3 a.m. and feel like you've had enough rest, it could just be that your internal clock is adjusting naturally as you age. Another reason older adults often wake up around 3 a.m. is due to physical discomfort or underlying health issues that tend to disrupt sleep, quietly and subtly. As we age, the likelihood of dealing with chronic conditions or the occasional health problem increases. These issues don't always make themselves known loudly. They don't shout for attention, they just quietly show up in the middle of the night like a stiff joint, a full bladder, or that odd twinge in your back that seems to appear out of nowhere. It's these little discomforts that often cause a peaceful night's sleep to be interrupted, making you wake up at 3 a.m. and wonder what just happened. For some, conditions like arthritis can make it hard to lie in one position for too long. When you first fall asleep, your body might be comfortable, but after several hours of stillness, the discomfort from the pressure of certain positions can build up, waking you up at those early hours. It's frustrating, isn't it? You're lying there, knowing that you've been asleep for hours, but then that ache in your knee or your lower back pulls you out of a deep sleep. For others, conditions like acid reflux can do the same thing. Have you ever eaten a late dinner and then gone to bed only to wake up later, feeling that familiar burning sensation in your chest? That can wake you up, especially if you've eaten something that irritates your stomach. Even something as simple as dry mouth, muscle cramps, or a slight change in room temperature can stir you from sleep, making it difficult to return to that deep, restful state. But it's not just the physical discomfort itself that can wake you up, it's also the medications we often take as we get older. Many medications, whether for blood pressure, pain management, or heart health, can come with side effects like frequent urination, temperature changes, or increased sensitivity to light or sound. These side effects can sneak in and subtly affect your sleep without you even realizing it. Take Ella Laner, for example. At 76, Ella Laner had always been a relatively light sleeper, but over the past year she found herself waking up regularly around 3:30 a.m. Initially, she thought it was just a natural part of aging. But after speaking with her doctor, she learned that one of her medications was affecting her hydration levels and increasing her nighttime trips to the bathroom. With her doctor's guidance, she adjusted the timing of her medication, added some simple lifestyle changes, and now she's able to sleep through the night with fewer interruptions. The key takeaway here is that waking up due to physical discomfort or health-related issues isn't a sign that something is wrong with your body. These wake-ups are your body's way of responding, adapting, and adjusting. They're natural signs, signals that guide you toward better care, better choices, and ultimately better sleep. If you can pinpoint the cause, whether it's an uncomfortable joint, acid reflux, or a medication side effect, you can take proactive steps to address the issue and improve your sleep. It's often the small, seemingly insignificant lifestyle habits that can have a profound impact on our sleep rhythms as we age. You may not realize it, but little changes in your daily routine can shift your internal sleep-wake cycle. It's like a subtle nudging, a quiet drift forward that you hardly notice until you wake up earlier than you expected. This happens especially as we grow older and our days become less structured, like after retirement or when life becomes quieter. Take eating dinner, for example. In many households, dinner tends to be an earlier event as people age. You might find yourself eating dinner at 5 o'clock or 6 p.m., thinking that it's healthier to have a lighter, earlier meal. This early dining schedule can set a series of changes in motion. Once you've eaten, your body begins its wind-down process earlier, which might make you feel sleepy sooner in the evening. The trouble is, this earlier sleep onset can lead to earlier wake-ups too, sometimes as early as 3 a.m. It's a simple cause and effect relationship. Eat earlier, fall asleep earlier, and wake up earlier. But that's not all. Physical activity plays a huge role in shaping your sleep cycle too. When we're younger, we tend to engage in more physical and mental stimulation throughout the day, running errands, working, meeting people, or participating in activities that keep our brains engaged and our bodies moving. These external cues, these anchors of activity, help regulate our sleep-wake rhythms. But as we get older and become more sedentary, these external cues begin to fade. For someone like Walter, this gradual change was particularly noticeable. Walter, 74, had just retired and was no longer following the same bustling routine. Instead of commuting to work, running errands, and socializing, his days became quieter and more relaxed. He found himself having dinner around 5 p.m., and as the evening wore on, he'd fall asleep in his recliner while watching the news. By 9 p.m. he was in bed, asleep, and then, inevitably, he'd wake up at 3 a.m., wide awake and puzzled by the early start to his day. At first, Walter thought this was just part of getting older. But when he reflected on his routines, he realized that his habits were shifting his natural sleep cycle earlier than he wanted. Once he recognized the connection between his quieter lifestyle and the early wake-up calls, Walter began to make small, deliberate adjustments. He added a short walk in the afternoon to get his body moving before dinner. He also began reading in brighter light during the evening, which helped signal to his brain that it wasn't time to wind down just yet. He also avoided napping after dinner, which allowed his body to stay awake a little longer and pushed his natural sleep window closer to the morning. These small changes had a profound effect on his sleep patterns. By gently tweaking his routine, Walter was able to shift his wake-up time a little later, allowing him to stay asleep for a more restful and satisfying period. Instead of feeling frustrated by his early mornings, Walter learned to adjust to his body's natural rhythms, honoring his own sleep needs in a more intentional way. This experience shows how important it is to notice the tiny, almost invisible shifts in our routines. It's easy to overlook the power of daily habits, but they can make a big difference in how our bodies respond to sleep. If you're finding yourself waking up at 3 a.m., think about the little things in your day-to-day life that might be influencing your sleep cycle. Is your routine a bit too quiet or sedentary? Have you changed when you eat or how much physical activity you get? The good news is that you can influence your sleep habits by becoming more aware of these small changes and adjusting them in ways that better support your natural rhythms. Sometimes, the reason you're waking up at 3 a.m. has less to do with your body and more to do with your mind. As we age, it's not unusual for emotional and psychological layers that were once buried beneath the hustle and bustle of daily life to begin surfacing in the stillness of the night. The quiet of the early morning hours, when the world is asleep and there are no distractions, often becomes the stage where these thoughts, worries, and memories rise to the surface. When we're younger, our lives are often filled with noise and activity, leaving little room for reflection. But as we age, especially in retirement or during quieter periods of life, the pace slows down. The stillness that accompanies the night can bring with it a flood of unresolved thoughts we may have tucked away during the day because we were too busy to address them. Maybe it's a relationship, a loss, or an old decision that you never fully processed. The silence allows these emotional layers to surface, sometimes waking you up at 3 a.m. when you least expect it. What's fascinating is that this kind of restlessness isn't the full-blown anxiety that many experience in their younger years. It's quieter, more reflective. It's almost like a soft hum in the background of your mind, a sense that something is unsettled even if you can't quite put your finger on it. It's not that you're panicking or overwhelmed. Rather, it's as if your mind is gently nudging you to pay attention to something you may have missed before. Loneliness can also play a significant role in this. As we age, our social circles often shrink. Children move away, friends get busy, and our routines change. The daytime may still be filled with activities and social engagements, but at night, when everything quiets down, there's often an awareness of the emotional gaps that become more apparent. This loneliness doesn't always feel heavy. Sometimes it shows up as a quiet ache for connection, a subtle desire to talk to someone when the world is still and silent. Take Gloria for instance. At 80, Gloria had spent many years caring for others and staying busy with her garden, her grandchildren, and her favorite TV shows. But around 3 a.m. she often found herself waking up, her mind going back to the memories she shared with her late husband or her worries about the future. At first, she thought something was wrong with her sleep. But over time she realized that her early morning wake-ups weren't about sleep at all. They were about her heart and mind trying to process old emotions, unfinished thoughts, and quiet longings. To support herself through these moments, Gloria started keeping a small journal by her bed. Whenever she woke up, she would jot down whatever was on her mind. It wasn't anything elaborate, just a few honest thoughts. Sometimes she'd write about her late husband, other times about her feelings of loneliness, or perhaps even about something she was grateful for. Along with this, she added a quiet evening ritual, like listening to soft music or writing a short note to a friend before bed. These little acts of reflection and connection helped her ease her mind and return to sleep with a greater sense of peace. The truth is, the human heart doesn't follow a strict schedule. It remembers what it wants to remember, it asks the questions it needs to ask, and sometimes it does all of this at 3 a.m. when everything else is quiet. But rather than seeing this as a problem or flaw, perhaps it's a sign of the wisdom and depth you've accumulated over the years. When you wake up and feel reflective, it might be an invitation to honor the memories, emotions, or desires that are surfacing. Instead of rushing to dismiss these moments, try approaching them with curiosity and kindness. What is your mind trying to tell you? What part of you needs a little grace, even in the dark? Waking up at 3 a.m. and feeling emotionally restless doesn't have to be something to fix. Sometimes, the most meaningful kind of rest comes not from ignoring these moments, but from listening to them with compassion. By acknowledging your emotional needs, you may find not only better sleep but also a deeper understanding of yourself during this stage of life. As we wrap up, it's important to remember that waking up at 3 a.m. is not a flaw or a failure. It's a natural part of aging, a signal from your body and mind that invites you to listen more closely. It may seem inconvenient, even frustrating at times, but each of the reasons we've explored, whether it's the natural decline in melatonin, the shift in your sleep cycle, physical discomfort, lifestyle habits, or emotional restlessness, offers a deeper understanding of what's happening within you. Instead of seeing these early morning wake-ups as something to fix, think of them as moments of insight, gentle reminders from your body that it's time to tune in and check in with yourself. These wake-ups are opportunities for reflection and self-compassion. They invite you to honor the changes your body is going through, to listen with kindness to the messages your mind is sending, and to adjust your routine and habits in a way that supports your overall well-being. By understanding the 5 key reasons behind those 3 a.m. wake-ups, you can start making informed choices that support your health and sleep. Maybe you'll adjust your evening routine, find ways to manage physical discomfort, or embrace the natural shifts in your sleep cycle with less resistance. Regardless of the specific changes, the key is awareness. The awareness that waking up early isn't something to be frustrated by, but rather something to work with, using compassion and understanding. As you navigate these changes, remember that you're not alone. Many others are experiencing the same shifts and waking up at the same hour. With this knowledge, you can approach your sleep patterns with a sense of curiosity instead of frustration. What can you learn from these wake-ups? How can you support yourself better during these times of transition? So, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned today. Is there one reason that resonates most with you? Perhaps you've found that your body's rhythms are changing, or you've discovered that small shifts in your routine might make a big difference. Whatever it is, trust that you have the power to make adjustments that work with your body's natural rhythm and lead to better, more restful sleep. If any of these insights resonated with you, or if you've noticed something in your own life contributing to your early morning wake-ups, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, experiences, or the small changes you've made to improve your sleep in the comments below. By sharing, you're not only helping yourself but also supporting others who might be going through the same thing. If you found this content helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more insights like this. Your support allows us to keep creating content that informs, empowers, and inspires. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on new videos. Together, we can continue this journey of understanding our bodies and living with greater peace and awareness. Thank you for joining me today, and remember, you're not just aging, you're evolving. With that evolution comes the chance to rest more intentionally, care for yourself more gently, and greet each new day with understanding and peace.